Good evening and a warm welcome to you. Welcome to the Misfits Racing League. We are here with Season 6, Tier 3, Round 9. We are finally at the halfway point. And the first to go, of course, is Tier 3 here at the circuit in Canada. The circuit Gilles de Villeneuve. It's going to be quite an epic race. It's been a while, actually, since I've personally seen the track around at this game. And also, interestingly to note, today a patch has dropped fixing some issues, and one of them, I believe, also involves online racing. So let's hope for that bit of a smoother experience. So here we are then on the calendar. As said, this is round 9 Canada. It is the halfway point of the season once this race is done. And speaking of races done, 8 of them have been completed already. And the standings, thanks to those 8 races, are as follows. Ayub Khan is now on equal height with the Grenade Goran after his great performance last week in Azerbaijan. He narrowly missed out on victory, but it at least allowed him to catch up with the championship leader. That's mostly due to the fact that Ayub Khan couldn't attend last week's session due to a broken racing wheel. I can tell you that he is here tonight, but he still has some issues with his steering wheel. So let's hope that will be resolved when the racing and qualifying will get underway. Another interesting little fact here tonight is that we have the entire full-time Tier 3 roster present. No reserve drivers will be attending tonight due to everybody signing up for this race. So Canada must indeed be a pretty popular place for everybody to see enough reason to attend. Going down a bit further down in the standings, we see PW Jones and Max O'Connor fighting it out for P3 at the moment, but PW Jones is only 9 points behind both championship leaders at the moment. It's a bit weird to say that. Max O'Connor, of course, being 10 points behind. Then there's a quite large gap down to P5 with Pixon being a bit lonely there with his, in terms of points at least, because Sam is also quite a while behind him in P6 right there for the Haas team. Archero, the best ranked Red Bull driver, currently sitting 7th. Then we have both Alpine drivers with Reflexes and 4-door sedan sitting in P8 and 9. And Levivasol rounding off the top 10 with 29 points. Then there is a whopping 4 drivers from P11 to P14 with 16 points. So that's definitely an interesting battle with Waifoon, Jasko, MBS and Backrow. Ayrton Torlesh is just hanging in the background there with 15 points. Then there's Hacko, Alec Games and Dark. All very close to that position as well. Especially Dark, I think, could make a large jump if he can get the points on the board. Because he's got the pace. We've seen that in several occasions in the previous races. And then there is 2 drivers without any points at the moment. Those are Ernest and driver DNB. Then, as for the constructors, we have Haas still leading all the way with 152 points, and there is Alpha Tauri currently 30 points behind, which isn't much because we're only at the halfway point. Williams is also still a pretty good contender for the title, as well as McLaren. Red Bull is going to be a bit of a struggle there for them to get to the top of the board. So far, only Archio has scored the points, and of course, one of the previous drivers, I believe it was Ian, had some good points on the board as well. And Ernest not being the luckiest so far, so he has been unable to score any points for the team yet. Mercedes then with 76 points. Both drivers are scoring points for the team at the moment, with Alpine in 7th, Ferrari in P8, Alfa Romeo in 9th, and Aston Martin at the moment in last place with only half the points that Alfa Romeo has. Of course, we have once again had a street circuit in Azerbaijan, and we are now technically on another, I believe this is technically another street circuit. I've heard some talks about that. It is narrow, and it is very close to the walls at some points of the track, and at some points it definitely isn't. There's an interesting hairpin, of course, before the back straight, and then the chicane into the wall of champions, which is another very interesting position on the track. Not only in terms of drivers crashing into the wall, but also of the weird track limits that do exist over there. Because if you hit the wall of champions, you will get a track limit warning, interestingly. But that's currently how the game works, because if you hit the wall of champions, you are with all 4 wheels off the track, and the game considers that a violation of the rules. How dare you ram into the wall? The lobby has readied up, and we are getting ready to go. I saw there were 19 drivers present in the lobby. I couldn't see who was missing, but there was a question to Alex if he is joining or not, so it might be him. I also didn't see Ayub Khan there, but then again, I didn't scroll down through the list to see who exactly is currently missing. I also was very happy. I said in the chat I was very excited to see the entire grid, so I might have jinxed it as well. But anyway, it's going to be fine. Once the moving pictures, as in the live view from the track is going underway, let me know, so that's right now, if the quality of the stream has improved in terms of being less blocky. I have changed some settings in OBS, and I hope, at least according to Waffle, it should be better now that I've changed the correct settings, as we can see actually Alex Game Sim joining in. For some reason I am having absolutely no sound. There we go. That's always a weird glitch from the game. We have the last full-time driver showing up, so I haven't jinxed it actually. And even more surprisingly, Grenade Gorn isn't the first car out for a change. It's actually Hako who's decided to be the first car to take on this tricky track here in Canada. That's a unique thing, because we all know that Grenade Gorn is always very quick to get out of the garage. And there he is. Second in line to set a lap time, unless of course Hako gets his lap invalidated. Which might happen at any point here on the track, because as I said, track limits here are very, very brutal, just like in Austria. It's very, very tricky to keep the car within those white lines that are considered the track limits according to this game. And also according to this year's FIA and the real Formula 1, of course. So at least now they are on equal ground, somewhat. Here is Hako then, getting ready for his lap on the medium tires. Let's actually turn on the tire interesting graphics here. Several drivers, the first lap will be on the medium tires for them, just to save out that set of soft tires. Ayrton Torleschi also starting his hot lap. Whoa, a bit of an oversteering moment there for Hako DK as he approaches the end of sector 1. It's a 19.8. Grenade Gorn is also on the medium tires. Ayrton Torleschi is the first driver to be on the soft tires. However, he's in a lot of traffic and he's invalidated his lap. So he'll be pretty disappointed in that. It's a bit of a hectic chaos here at the moment, I see there. Many drivers right behind one another, and Ayrton was in the middle of it, so that might have been the cause of his lap invalidation. Either way, he's going to have to try again very, very soon to see if he can get his lap done. Some yellow flags going on with one of the Aston Martin, I believe it was. No, it actually isn't a moving out of the way. I think MBS might have spun by potentially trying to get out of the way. Either way, Hako, oh dear, that's a bit of a corner cut there. Hako is about to set the first lap time on his medium tires. It's a 1:10.8. Grenade Gorn then following behind, and he is setting a 1:10.1 on the medium tires, so that is quite a lot faster, 0.7 of a second quicker than Hako could get his Williams on around on this track. So that is a very, very fast time. Jasko then on his soft tires is only 0.4 faster than Jasko is, as we have back row. I saw some message about him. Was that a disqualification message or a grid penalty message? Either way, something happened there. I'll have to check the race director soon, as Reflexes goes a lot faster than Jasko did. He is now the fastest man on the track. Also, you shouldn't underestimate Reflexes here. He's very fast, but he's been quite unlucky in terms of the races. An accident, safety cars, screw-ups, a blocked MBS, four-door sedan going fast. So let's have a little look at him as he comes through the final chicane. Almost scraping the wall of champions when coming into the main straight. And he is putting himself into 4th place at the moment with a 10 round. So, it is quite solid, but not nearly as fast as his teammate, so I'm afraid you were a bit misinformed there, Will. Let's see here, MBS is in the pit lane, back in the pit lane at the moment, as Ayrton Torleschi on his second attempt goes second fastest overall with a 9.5. So looking good there for the Ferrari driver. He really wins some extra points. He does have the pace to score the points, but so far, just like several other drivers on this grid, he just hasn't been that lucky. Waifoon, Ayub Khan's teammate in P4, as the championship leader himself, currently puts himself on the front row, but not yet on pole position. He does get a purple final sector though, and he is currently about 18/100ths of a second behind Reflexes, so there's plenty of room for improvement for him there. Now we're waiting for his main rival, Grenade Goran, to put on the softs and go for another attempt to claim pole position. He has already admitted that he isn't the greatest at qualifying, Grenade Goran is, and that there's still plenty of room for him to find a good chunk of time. Max O'Connor has invalidated this lap. Pixon then going fastest overall with a 1 minute 9.1. And we will, I think, see somebody going into the 1 minute 8s, well into the 1 minute 8. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 1 minute 8.5 as the provisional pole time of tonight. Either way, MBS coming back out after allegedly being blocked by MBS. Is there no in-game audio? That's interesting. Let me actually quickly solve that issue. Completely forgot to set the slider to the correct volume. Thank you for making me aware, Big Turbina. So I wasn't the only one who had no audio at the beginning. You all were having no audio, but there we are. We're all good. You can now hear the roar of the engines of all these cars. Let's have a look at Archo, I was about to say, as he's trying to sell lap time, but there he is already in 9th place. His teammate currently sitting in P14 with only a 1 minute 10.7, marginally faster than Hecko on the medium tires. So it's looking great there for the second Red Bull driver at the moment. MBS is getting ready to start his hot lap. He is on the back straight at the moment. Can't really call it a back straight though, because it's nearly on the same level as the main straight. Let's call it the pre-main straight. That would be a more interesting term. There comes then around the final chicane, past the wall of champions, a good exit there, so it's a good start to his lap at least. Let's just join him into his car and see what he can do. Powering down the main straight into turns 1 and 2. Now this one is quite tricky, you have to get the power down at the exact proper and correct moment, otherwise your car might oversteer or you will lose too much time. Then turns 3 and 4, of course, also very susceptible to track limits there. First sector, purple with a 19.416. Of course, we have to take the purple with a grain of salt, knowing the game doesn't really know when something is and isn't a purple sector. Either way, here it comes then, the back straight. That's the technical and correct back straight there. Another piece of DRS. There are 3 DRS zones on this track, so plenty of overtaking opportunities as he enters the hairpin. Another purple sector then. Now it might be promising. A 41.228 at the moment. A bit of a twitchy moment there coming onto the pre-main straight as he turns on another DRS here. Checks it as much to the inside as he possibly can. Now the final tricky part of this track, of course, is the chicane. Exiting the wall of exiting into the wall of champions, in fact, and there he goes. And it is an invalidation on the final chicane, like, well, I think so many drivers are going to experience, and that means another lap. The next lap is invalidated as well, because the game considers this as an unfair advantage of carrying speed into the next sector. Here comes Grenade Goran then, the man currently equal on points with the championship leader Ayub, as he is going to attempt a quick lap on a set of soft tires. His current lap is a 10.1 on the mediums, which is relatively fast for that tire, but he knows he should do better if he wants to have any chance at fighting good old Ayub, the qualifying beast. But as we know, he's currently struggling with his tires as he's now sitting in the pit lane getting ready for his next run, despite his wheel issues. Let's hope they will not hamper him too much. His teammate there moving out of the way, Sam, currently only with a 10.2, but also on the medium tires. Sam also being a very fast driver, so Haas has got 2 quite strong drivers as Grenade Goran goes half a second faster than his previous time. Got a purple second sector, so he's currently well on his way to potentially setting a provisional pole position. Let's see what happens as he approaches the final chicane. Let's hope he will not invalidate his lap. Looking good there, it's also looking good there. No scraping the wall of champions as he rams his car down the main straight. And it is a 1 minute 9.4. It's marginally slower than Ayub Khan, and it's only good enough at the moment for P5. And now actually P6 as Max O'Connor puts his McLaren. Currently is McLaren on 3rd place, Jasko in 4th. I must have misread that then. So Grenade Goran there in P6 at the moment. As we speak, Ayrton Torlashi is currently 1/10 up on his previous time. He might therefore push Grenade Goran a bit further down. Let's see what the Ferrari driver can do. His teammate is still hanging around in the pit lane, and as we speak, he's actually coming out in his Ferrari. A bit of a yellow flag situation as one of the... Oh, dearie me, it's a full 360 there, as seen from the rear of Ayrton Torlashi's car, but he managed to keep the car out of the wall, so no damage for Ayrton Torlashi. But goodness me, that was an interesting way to see the 360 going on there from Ayrton Torlashi. A very interesting point of view there from the, well, pretty much the rear of the engine. Archer right behind him, currently 4/10 faster than his previous attempt, looking good for him there. There he comes then through the final chicane, past the wall of champions on the main straight. He comes as Ayrton pulls himself into the pit lane, and he is very close to pole position. It's 3rd fastest at the moment, so he'll be pretty pleased with that one. Orchowo, another pretty fast driver. But with a lot of bad luck and some strategy mishaps. PW Johnson, meanwhile, still hanging around in the pit lanes, and we have some drivers still without a lap time. The other Ferrari driver, Laviva Sol, is currently coming up the pre-main straight, as I'd like to call it. So let's see what he can do. He's already opened his DRS, getting ready for that attempt. Let's see what he can do in his car there as he comes down the main straight. Getting ready for a nice hot lap there. Nice and easy it is. There's a lot of time left at the moment. Some yellow flags going on. People going slow. There's a Haas going very, very slow actually. Might that be Grenade Goran who's run out of fuel? I think he does have run out of fuel. Oh, that's not good there for the Haas. He's losing time there as Lafifa Sol, currently on the soft tires, has ended his 1st sector already. And let's see what will happen as he slowly approaches the end of the 2nd sector, looking clean and tidy still. Not too much curbing, which is always a good sign. That means the car is stable at 41.934 as he now goes through the hairpin onto the pre-main straight. Some cars ahead of him. Let's see if he can get a bit of a tow from perhaps one of the Mercedes ahead of him, which I think actually is Alex GameSim, who is on an outlap. He's finally joined the lobby, as I said at the start of qualifying. There he is, one of the Alpines, also going very slow, moving out of the way there. And Laviva Sol then coming around the final 2 corners to set a 1 minute, oh dear, 1 minute 10.2 only. That's good enough for P17, which isn't great, let's be honest. Ernest is also trying to improve. He's only almost 4/10 quicker, which is not nearly enough to improve by any position. So he should put in some more effort in the 2nd and 3rd sectors to get himself from rock bottom. Pretty much as we have a retirement in the pit lane. Ayub Khan, I'm afraid, is not able to continue his qualifying efforts here with the steering wheel issues. So that is bad news then for the championship leader. He's also left the session, so I'm afraid it's completely game over there for the championship leader. He's unable to do anything with the wheel issues he has. So that is Ayub Khan out of this race pretty much. He has set a qualifying time. He will start from P8, his AI at least will. And Ernest only improving to a 10.0, which is now P18. Alex GameSim currently not able to improve. Hecko has done a massive improvement. Look at that! He's currently sitting on the front row. He's beaten Reflexes, he's beaten MBS. And Grenade Goran is still hanging around in P6 at the moment. Let's see what Hecko's teammate can do. He's PW Jones still in the pit lane. Ayrton after his 360 is out for another attempt. Currently sitting 11th at a 9.5. And he's already 3/10 slower than his previous attempt. That's not looking good with 4 minutes remaining. This might as well be his last attempt, unless he's put in some more fuel to do a 2nd run on these set of tires. So let's hope he'll find a lot of time in the final sector. No, he's heading straight back into the pit lane at speed as I speak there. There he goes then. He hopes he will have enough time for another run. Or at least I think he hopes he does. Otherwise, that's his qualifying over early. And we are now getting to the end, to the finale of the qualifying. MBS then getting ready for his hot lap. He had a bit of an oversteering moment. Actually, he's gone fastest. He already did his hot lap there. And he's now fastest overall with a 9.0. I'm afraid the prediction of a 1 minute 8.5 will not happen unless somebody puts in a mega lap, but I can't see any of the current drivers being able to do so. Maybe Reflexes will surprise us as he gets himself prepared. Max O'Connor is also one of those guys who's very fast in qualifying as well as in the race, so maybe he'll put up a surprise. His teammate is pretty fast as well, but he's only P10 at the moment with a 9.4, which is only 4/10 slower than pole position. Can you imagine that? His final attempt of warming the tires to their point of being able to work as well as they can work. And there he comes then, Max O'Connor on his last ditch attempt to get his car higher up in the grid. P7 is not going to be enough for him. And he's fighting with PW Jones for P3 in the championship at the moment, as one of the Mercedes moves out of the way. So there's plenty of room for improvement there at Pixon, who had provisional pole for so long, is now forced to fight back at MBS. Fastest overall there, Aston Martin on provisional pole. Can you imagine? The team last in the Constructors now got a man at the top of the tables, at least at the top of the grid. With a yellow flag in sector 2, he's moving out of the way again. One of the Alfa Romeos coming past there. I think that might actually, yeah, it's actually not Jasko, it is Backrow, who's currently only 15th as Reflexes goes into the 1 minute 8. As I said, this man does surprise at some points, and there he goes. He's moving out of the way immediately from Dark, who's going to attempt his hot lap there. Max O'Connor 2/10 faster at the moment. If he does that, keep that up, he might actually be able to switch to a very, very nice position there. He does get himself into 3rd place with a 1 minute 9 round. Just 17 milliseconds slower than MBS, and MBS has lost his provisional pole position. Pixon then already down to P4 as he approaches the finish line very slowly. And getting ready for his hot lap attempt. Let's see who else is on a hot lap. There's plenty of drives on a hot lap. Grenade Goran being one of them as he plows down the main straight. The pre-main straight there. He's currently almost 2/10 slower than his previous attempt. So let's hope he can actually improve here in the final attempt there. Through the last chicane. Over the line. It's no improvement for Grenade Goran. So he will start from P7. That is, of course, if people like Backrow will not improve their time. Let's see here. He's only 36 milliseconds slower than his previous attempt, and he only needs 52 extra milliseconds to be able to get on level with Grenade Goran, so he needs to find just a little more time. Archibald then going 4th fastest at the moment as Backrow is getting ready. P9 at the moment still just a bit faster than his teammate, who's now 10th, being pushed down by several other drivers, and there he comes then. No improvement for Backrow. Jasko having invalidated his attempt. Dark is currently going faster as well. One of the Alpines moving out of the way at the moment. Laviva Sol is right behind him, so there's 2 drivers very close here. It's Dark and Laviva Sol, both trying to improve their laps. It's Dark. Let's see how fast he currently 44 milliseconds faster. Laviva Sol 15 milliseconds slower, and he might potentially get held up here by the McLaren just ahead of him. And a Mercedes ahead of him without a front wing is also very interesting. I think that must have been Alex GameSim. Yes, currently in last place. And there he comes then, powering round the main straight. Dark has decided to abandon the lap. Laviva Sol hasn't decided to abandon the lap and therefore overtakes Dark into 12th. Let's see then. Oh, dearie me, Laviva Sol's teammate, yes, I was about to say. When trying to go around the final chicane, invalidated his lap and screamed. He just kind of touched there the Wall of Champions a little bit. And he will stay 8th fastest. And that is qualifying over. PW Jones, yes, sorry man, only P15. That will not be a great position to start from if you are so close to the championship leader, who will not start this race. So technically his AI starts, but I don't think there will be any points if your AI starts the race. Maybe we should come in and retire the car in the pit lane, I don't know. Might have been a wise idea. Either way, he's out for now. No racing for Ayub Khan. And there is the message we saw earlier. Back row getting a 5-second grid penalty. Apparently for impeding somebody's lap time. So he starts from P14. That means all the drivers in here will move up position. Jasko, Ayub, Lafifasol, Dark and Driver will move up a position. Of course, this man not racing will means these drivers will also move up a position. And unfortunately, Alex coming in late also has the slowest time of the lot. But interestingly, the man in P20, every single driver is within 9/10 of a second of pole position. Interesting. A very, very, very quick grid tonight. Of course, it's not that hard on Canada, seeing how it's a short and fast track. So obviously the times are pretty close. Looks like the race will at least start on the dry tires. Let's see how the weather will progress as we continue through the race. 35 laps will be coming up. As some random player we saw a random player joining the lobby there. Don't think there was a reserve driver called Grimsy in the check-in. Definitely not. Nope. Either way, you'll not be able to join the race, of course, as Ayub Khan's AI will drive the second AlphaTauri. So once again, Waifun will be the only driver to be able to score points for the team. And of course, make sure to do your predictions with your channel points. Yes, Ghazi, indeed, I'll repeat it as well for you. Will reflects his win from pole position. I think he would love to, because if I look at the provisional standings, which are probably also the final standings, Reflexes, currently sitting in 8th, has only achieved one podium, a P3 in Saudi Arabia, and his second best result is a P4 in Imola. And well, there's been one race he didn't play, and there's been 3 races outside of the points. So this man would really like to win, but I think so does MBS like to do. He hasn't stood on the podium just yet, this man here in the Aston Martin. So there's a lot of things to gain here for both these drivers. Max O'Connor, of course, having already won twice, now sitting 4th in the standings, getting very close to the championship leader. This man currently has the best cards to slip into the championship lead if he can outscore both Grenade Goran and Ayub by more than 10 points and PW Jones by more than 1 point. So it's looking very good for him. So let's hope for his sake, that he can keep it up. There the game then, thinking this either is going to be a 2 or a 3 stop. I personally think this is likely to be a 2-stop race, as tire degradation around Canada is pretty harsh. And considering there's likely to be a safety car around here, the 2-stop is a very viable strategy. I don't think soft to medium is going to work here as it does on so many other tracks. Maybe soft to hard, but I don't think you'll want a hard tire on this track. The AI of Ayub Khan thinks differently about it though. He's happily driving around with a hard tire, interestingly. But for now I think we should just ignore this AlphaTauri here, as he'll fall down to last place pretty quickly. There is no ghosting though, so that might be an issue for other drivers starting behind him. Frostbite, how dare you? That's a misspell of my name. Soft to medium is 100% possible. Okay, well, I hope you're right. Then again, I'm not the most experienced in terms of that stuff, to be honest. So yes, you did it again, Noel. Anyway, the grid is pretty much ready to get going. And there we have it then. The lights are flashing on once again. We have 5 red lights on at the moment. The engines are roaring and we are on our way. Looks like a very good start there for Reflexes. MBS also getting very well away. He's already side by side. Is he going to swoop into the lead right the outside? No, he doesn't really try there. He's actually choosing the safest option, and that is to stay behind Reflexes. And he knows Max O'Connor is already under pressure from Archer for 3rd place. We have no yellow flags just yet. It does look like everyone's gone through safely through the first 2 corners there. Several overtakes happening at the rear of the grid. All is going side by side there. Some drivers are losing position. Some of them are gaining it. The Sam is already going side by side there with Backrow trying to claim 14th place, but he is unsuccessful yet. And it looks like Grenade Gorn made a good start there. Has already moved up a position into 6th place at the moment. And everybody's gone through safely through the first half a lap at least. Reflexes then leading away. MBS Max O'Connor getting chased down by Archio for the final podium place. Pixon, after being a provisional pole for so long, starting from 5th, already getting pressurized by Grenade Goran. The potential championship leader there. Max O'Connor needs to gain a few places as Grenade Goran is now approaching him. There's 8 points for Grenade Goran on the board at the moment and 15 for Max O'Connor as they all come through the final chicane. It looks like it's all still going quite well. Yukan's AI is holding up several drivers, which is a bit unfortunate and not very convenient, to be honest. Latifa Sol then overtaking driver DMB, now in 11th place. Jesko then fighting with Ayrton Torleshi to gain 8th place. He's trying to go around the outside, and it actually works. So a bit more grip there for the Alfa Romeo. Now into 8th place. Ayrton Torleshi moved down to 9th for now at least. It's only the start of the race. There's still plenty of action and plenty of opportunities coming for him to go back. So let's see, in terms of positions changed, how many positions all the drivers have already gained. And we have a yellow flag, and it's actually driver DMB making a 360. Is there any damage to his car though? It's a bit difficult to see with this camera angle. That's the last camera angle we'd like to have a view from. And now this might actually, for some reason, the game thinks this is a good camera angle. Though it looks like there's no damage to the car just yet. Waifun there overtaking his Gasly teammate, his AI teammate there, 4-door sedan. Gaining a position on PW Jones. PW Jones is having a horrible race at the moment. He's already down to 17th. He started in P15. He's lost a position there as he's now going to overtake the AI of Ayub Khan, who's getting sandwiched by 2 drivers. Is that going to be fine? It actually is, but it does put driver DNB nearly into the wall of champions, as Ernest is the first driver to pit there. Might have a bit of a touch with another car there. So that means now driver DNB into 19th place. Not the greatest start for his race, of course. MBS still piling on the pressure. That is driver DNB's teammate there. So much is happening at the moment, but we're gonna have to focus on one part of the race for now at least. Many DRS trains are forming. It's gone from P1 all the way down to P11. That large DRS train. It's from Reflexes to Latifa Sol, where everybody can turn on their wings and go a bit faster. It is Backrow in the second group with, well, actually not really a group. He's outside of anybody's DRS. It is this giant group that is going to try and overtake the car ahead of them, and actually Reflexes is going to have the toughest job defending. Yes, that might have been a Will Buxton moment, but it does make sense, doesn't it? Some of them are losing positions, so that means some of them are gaining it. And it looks like Pixon setting the fastest lap of the race, despite being in a DRS train. He's the fastest of the lot at the moment, and he is showing them, and he is ready to gain the positions when the opportunity comes to his hand. Indeed, Grenade Goran can build a big lead. He's already overtaken him by just... Oh, dearie me, it's Archibald just losing the car there. The Red Bull driver suddenly lost his car. It looked kind of out of nowhere. He nearly sweeps one of the Alfa Romeos by trying to turn around. My goodness, that was a scary move there from Archibald, and he's already out of the points. A bad day there for Red Bull. That was an interesting way of turning around the car, nearly taking out one of the others. And there we go then. MBS is getting ready to make the move. He's side by side and ahead. He is now in the lead of the race. We have an Aston Martin leading the race. MBS has had no podiums whatsoever. His best position at the moment has been a P6 last week in Azerbaijan, so he needs the result. Reflex is still having no DRS, is also getting overtaken, almost at least, by Max O'Connor, who tried to go around the inside and then the outside, trying to make the switch back there into turn 3. No success there so far for the McLaren driver, but he is now very, very close to Reflexes. Who's, oh no! Reflexes is out of the race! What on earth happened there? And he's in a very, very inconvenient position there, and we might have the first... Yeah, of course we have the first safety car. This car is in the middle of the road. What on earth happened? Yeah, I think it was just outside of our field of view. Maybe anybody of you saw it in the background, but the prediction already will not come true anymore, as the man who started in pole position will once again not win a race. He just can't catch a break, can he? I do not know what happened there. It's, I'm completely in the dark. Might have just lost the car. Yeah, I would love to see, I would love a replay mod. Even if it was done by the game itself. That would be quite amazing. So let's see what everybody's going to do then. MBS is coming into the pit lane, as are, I think, many other drivers. Grenade Goran already in 4th place after 2 drivers. Oh my goodness me, that was a bit of a scary moment there. We can also see some of the other drivers deciding not to stop. Most of them, of course, being the medium tire drivers, sorry. And that means that now Dark is leading the race from Le Vive Soul, from Sam, then Waifoon, PW Jones moving into 5th. And 4-door sedan exiting the pit lane just ahead of MBS, but for some reason he's letting the technical race leader past. And he shouldn't have to do that, because he was ahead of him behind the safety car line. At the safety car line, I should say. So that is PW Jones then in 5th place. MBS in P6. 4-door sedan moved up to 8th because of some drivers stopping there. That means he's already lost connection to PW Jones, because there's 2 cars in between himself and the Williams. New prediction, will MBS win the race? Well, seeing as already we saw something completely unpredictable happen, it's going to be hard to be correct. Here he is then, the technical race leader. He's only got Max O'Connor behind him in terms of any challenge, because Pixon, technically in 3rd, has got 4-door sedan in between himself and his next proper rival, so to say. Renee Goran is behind him in 10th. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how the people with fresh tires will attempt to cut through the guys with slightly older mediums. Also interesting to see that Alex GameSim on his soft tires has decided to stay out as well. I think, to be honest, he should have pitted, go for a fresh set of softs. So the field is almost bunched up back together. We're only waiting for Ernest, but if I'm honest, he will for sure catch back up once before the safety car hits the end of the 3rd sector. He's almost there already. And we'll see what happens there. Also, I haven't seen any confirmation. I hope anybody can confirm that the blockiness of the stream is now pretty much gone, and it's going to be as smooth and as crisp as I see it on my screen at the moment. I've improved some of the settings, as I said at the start of the stream. Yeah, the game camera can be a bit weird. Sometimes it likes to... I think it's because Alex is having a bit of a laggy thing going on at the moment. He's teleporting back and forth, as far as I can see. Either way, we're getting ready to race again. Dark then, leading away the field. Will he help out his teammate once he approaches him? Max O'Connor there and sitting in 7th. MBS sitting in 6th. Let's see what the restart of the race will do. How will the top 5 fare on their older medium tires against the guys on the fresher tires? 4-door sedan in the middle of the mix. And a little drive behind him as well on fresh tires. Alex GameSim didn't pit. Driver DNP already pitted for a fresh set of hearts earlier because of damage to his wing. Let's see though when Dark will start the race. He's gone on away, and it looks like Lafifa Soul is immediately in trouble as Sam is right behind him trying to go around the outside as Lafifa Soul defends the inside, but it looks like a much better run there for Sam as he puts himself into second place, and immediately Lafifa Soul is getting overtaken by Wyfoon as well. He's already lost 2 positions his race start, but he's not giving up just yet. He's trying to fight back the position, and another car lost! Into the wall goes Wyfoon. He resets himself to the track, and that might have scared several other drivers into doing a bit of an unfortunate turn there. Either way, it's a bad luck situation there for AlphaTauri as they now lost both drivers outside of the points. Ayub Khan's AI is driving around in 17th. Wyfoon is now behind him in 18th. Hacker DK fighting with Jesko there for the single point of P10. And Dark has already pulled away from Sam, more than a second clear, and his teammate Max O'Connor moved into 4th. He's already ahead of MBS, so it looks like he's got a mighty restart there. PW Jones trying to fight back into 4th place there. He has to go defenses there, Max. But it looks like he's going to be fine as PW Jones will now be forced around the outside. Of course, that is really hard to do. Dark getting a penalty there, 3 seconds added to his race time. 4-door sedan now moving ahead of MBS. MBS is not having a great restart there. He's now going to have to fight 2 cars into turn 1. He's getting a bit of a touch there with 4-door sedan, but he's got a better line in the inside. Now he's side by side with the Alpine, but again a terrible exit. PW Jones nearly oversteers into the Aston Martin there. It's getting a bit dangerous. It's getting a bit scary there. Grenade Goran now moving into 8th. PW Jones is already losing several positions. He might have gotten front wing damage due to the touch there with one of the other cars. It's absolute chaos in this corner. Look at all the cars going side by side. It's a miracle that nobody lost his car in this point of the race. Jesko there trying to go side by side with Grenade Goran on equally fresh tires there. The Alfa Romeo having the pace to try and take on the potential championship leader, but it's currently Max O'Connor who still has the best papers. Ayub Khan has decided to retire his car, which is a good thing to do because his AI was actually driving in the way of many others. So good on him for doing that. It was on track though, but I think it's the wisest thing to do. Max O'Connor in the meanwhile, putting under pressure there. Lafifa Soul in the Ferrari for P3. He's now effectively leading the race as we speak. DRS is now re-enabled then. Max O'Connor hounding the Ferrari, trying to claim back all the positions he lost due to the safety car. MBS having that same problem, now fighting with 4-door sedan for P5 as we speak. He's very close behind him. 4-door sedan's tires not being that optimal anymore. He's got a 3-second time penalty though MBS has. That might put him on the back foot for the race lead as Max O'Connor is still without penalties. But this race is long and the track limits are harsh. He got a bad exit there. He's now under pressure from Pixon, who's going to try and take the position from him. But both of them are having DRS. 4-door sedan hasn't, so MBS is able to close up back to the Alpine driver there. Just ahead of them, Max O'Connor fighting Lafifa Soul. We can see them just ahead on the screen. Let's see what will happen now. Let's see if Lafifa Soul can keep his position. He got a bit of a worse exit than Max O'Connor has. So I'm afraid it's game over for the Ferrari driver in terms of a potential podium there. And there he goes then. He lets him past. No defending from him there. MBS, of course, does the same with the 4-door sedan. Moving into 5th place and restarting the chase on Max O'Connor. Pixon now trying to get past the Alpine as well as Grenade Goran trying to move in the inside there on Pixon. He's gonna go for it. He's gonna try and claim 7th place, trying to go around the outside in turn 2 now. He's not successful yet though so far, and Pixon is defending brilliantly. He does lose some time though through to 4-door sedan there for trying to defend his position. He's going to have to attack and defend at the same time, which is always a tough thing to do, as Wyfoon now sets the fastest lap of the race, but he's far behind the rest of the field. So is PW Jones. His chances of getting some extra points on the board are pretty much gone now, unless another safety car hits and he gets a brilliant strategy. It's not over. We're not at the halfway point just yet. In the background, we see Hacker overtaking Jesko just before the hairpin, but it doesn't matter. He'll get DRS anyway. So it's looking good for him there. Max O'Connor trying to now gain 2nd place. And will he be successful in doing so? And that means he'll close up to his teammate Pixon in the background, claiming 6th from 4-door sedan. The Alpine driver not being able to defend on his older tires. And there he goes then. It's now a McLaren 1-2. We also saw that in Azerbaijan. We might see another great teamwork from the McLaren team here, as they did last week at Baku. Typhoon has left the session. I hope he will rejoin. Otherwise his AI will just drive in the way of EPW Jones, who's approaching him. And there he goes then, into the distance, and we have a yellow flag. It is one of the Red Bull drivers. It's, I'm afraid, once again Archibald spinning out at nearly the same position he did before. So this is not his night. Terrible luck there for Archibald, as he tried to reclaim positions after his first spin. Now he's lost another few positions from his second spin. So things are slowly starting to calm down. 4-door sedan now under pressure from Grenade Goran, but he does have DRS. However, his battery is pretty much dry, as is Grenade Goran's, but he's just got enough to get past him. 4-door sedan and now move down to P8 and immediately under pressure from Hacko as well. Let's see if anything between these two drivers can happen there into turn 1. 4-door sedan knows he doesn't really need to fight back this place. He knows it's not fruitful in terms of his time gains or losses. Defending will always cost you time. Attacking will as well. And to minimize his time loss, he will not defend as hard as he normally would. Of course, that's the only wise thing to do. Jesko already to claim the position there. And oh no, goodness me, it's another driver who's lost the car. Is this time 4-door sedan? He's in a dangerous position as he smashes now the entire front wing on the wall there. It is completely over then for him, for the time being at least. A bad day for Alpine as well, for AlphaTauri and Red Bull. 3 teams are having a terrible day tonight at the track. Dark in the meanwhile already has his teammate behind him. Of course he's not going to defend hard, I think at least, as Max O'Connor now moves into the lead of the race, which he so desires there. MBS in the meanwhile now has 3 cars in between himself and the race leader. I think something he doesn't really like to see, as he's now going to try and overtake Levivazol, Sam and Dark to get back his second place. He's no longer the race leader. That now is Max O'Connor, who's now on his way for his 3rd win and potentially the 2nd in a row. And looking like this, he might actually gain the championship lead. And here's the man who's going to try and overtake Ayub Khan. He must finish the race in the points to be able to do so. He's already hanging around in 7th. But he's now under threat from losing that position of the championship leads to Max O'Connor, who's now leading the race. So let's see what else happens here at Canada, as Dark is trying to keep up with his teammate. And there we have it then, Grenade Goran getting a good exit. Getting ready to pass Pixon, but it will be difficult as all the cars ahead of him will have DRS. Levivazol included. Going to be really tough to try and make a move there. Pixon is getting really close to the rear of MBS, trying to take 5th place from him. But it looks like all of these efforts are, at least for now, in vain, with all the DRS trains going on. So then 4-door sedan is pitted, gone to a set of hard tires, hoping to finish the race on that compound. Dark getting another 3-second time penalty. Deary me, nearly losing the car as well. That's not a great moment there for the 2nd McLaren driver. I would really like to have a win as well. His best result, P5 last week. His first points finish and the fastest lap. So there's definitely more for him to come. I'm certain of that. Grenade Goran having a proper look there at Pixon's position there. He nearly went into the inside, into the hairpin actually. He's really showing him that he needs to hurry up, otherwise he'll just pass him by. MBS doing the same with Levivazol. He's having a look, but he's not having a go. It would have been a bit too dangerous to do so. Now he's got a great run out of the final corner. Trying to get side by side with Aviva Sol, but of course the Ferrari drivers still having the DRS as well, fighting Sam over third at the moment. So it's a tough time for these drivers getting past one another. Oh dear me, Hacker DK got a bad exit there out of turn 2. And now he's forced to stay behind Jesko, at least for the time being, falling down back to 9th place. Back to the battle at hand. Oh my goodness, it's MBS who's nearly lost the car, trying to stay with Aviva Sol there. It's getting harsh now. He's really pushing hard. He really wants to get past the Ferrari. And in doing so, nearly crashes himself out of the race and nearly ruining another prediction for channel points. Oh, look at that. Grenade Goran is really lost his patience now. He really wants to get past the Mercedes of Pixon. Went on the inside. Which caused him to have a less than ideal exit. However, he's got more speed, he's got way more battery, he's got them all charged up. Actually, Pixon's having the great amount of battery, and that allows him to defend well. Sorry for misseeing that one. And it looks like Sam is the first one of the non-safety car pitters to pit there. MBS and Aviva Sol having a fight into turn 1. He's finally doing it. Aviva Sol can no longer rely on the tow that the Haas of Sam was giving him, and immediately MBS strikes, as does Grenade Goran, moving into 5th place ahead of Pixon. Sam then gone for a set of hard tires after his stint on the medium, going for the rest of the race. So that is going to be a one-stop race for him. Pixon going very slow there. Deary me, something must have happened to him as well. He was fighting moments ago for a potential race lead. He no longer is now. Bad day there for Pixon. MBS trying to keep another looming threat behind. Grenade Goran is ready to move past Aviva Sol. But Aviva Sol once again taking the maximum benefit from the slipstream. And he's doing a great job defending on those older medium tires, as he might potentially do a one-stop to the softs. And he actually attacks MBS going into turn 1. And this is a great move from Aviva Sol. But MBS does have these slightly fresher tires. More grip coming out of turn 2. Aviva Sol going right and risking his 4th place as well against Grenade Goran. But he's holding in at bay so far. He's doing an amazing job there. Look at him go. Hacker DK liking this fight because he actually can connect to this group of cars fighting all of this stuff here. Whoa! Braking late, nearly getting himself into the back of the Ferrari there. Aviva Sol's putting up a hard fight. He's not giving it that easily. And Hacko is now connected properly to that group. Aviva Sol, of course, is about to pit. It won't take much longer. And there he goes then. Grenade Goran is going to have to try and go around the outside, but MBS is there. He's in the way. MBS actually goes into the pit lane. Why is that? He's already stopped under the safety car. He's going for a proper undercut then, because he's going to potentially switch to another set of mediums. So there he goes, yes, a fresh set of medium tires. Aviva Sol still holding Grenade Goran at bay. He's no longer got any tow again. That is where MBS struck his attack. And now Grenade Goran is going to have to do the same, and quickly, to make sure that MBS gets the least benefit from his potential undercut. Fortunately for Grenade Goran, MBS has come out ahead of his teammate Sam there, hanging around in 10th place with the hard tires after his one and only pit stop. So MBS will have to get past Sam now if he wants to make the undercut work. Will he be able to do so? Let's see from Sam's point of view. No, he's too far back for now. He'll have to use the pre-main straight to get them moved on. Whoa! MBS is really pushing it again. He nearly lost the car once more. And there goes Grenade Goran into 3rd place. Fighting hard. But will he react to the pit stop of MBS? No, he will not yet. He keeps going. We see Ayrton Torleschi going into the pit lane. Oh, yeah, that actually is Ayrton Torleschi. The man driving around in P6 fighting with back row for the position. Now also tries and go for the undercut, and it actually is the McLaren retiring from the station. It's Dark who's out of the race, and we have another safety car. This is perfect for Max O'Connor and Grenade Goran to shake off MBS permanently. And this man will be absolutely fuming to see this situation happening. Dark crashing out actually benefits his teammate. It's almost like Singapore 2008 Crashgate. But let's not go into the conspiracy theory, shall we? Oh, dearie me. That is the undercut strategy pretty much gone. And this man's chance of winning the race hanging in the balance. So of course the race leader is going to pit. But the question is, what set of tires will he get put under? Interested to see what happens here. Will he go for the mediums? And not take any risks? Yes, he does. Many other drivers are doing the same thing. Everybody behind Max O'Connor coming in as well. Pixon coming in too. After going slow. Set of mediums for him as well. Some drivers are skipping the pit lane, including MBS. Now the big question of course is, where will he come out on top of? Will he come out ahead of Grey Goran? No, he will not. And the scarier thing is, Grenade Goran and Lafifa Soul especially, this man's got the luckiest out of them all, has gone into the soft tires. He wants that podium badly. He lost it to Ayub Khan in Monaco by the closing stages of the race after having a masterful overcut strategy. And now once again, strategy is working massively in his favor. So here, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you for the second time in P3, Lafifa Soul. He's gonna try and do the stint of softs for the remaining 13 laps. It's going to be a big challenge to keep those tires alive long enough. I've done it before personally, and in the end I lost 2 positions to finish 3rd, and I could have won the race in a league race. So I know how it feels to go for this strategy. It's a big risk. And Max O'Connor, I think, will be under massive pressure from Grenade Goran, at least in the first 6 or 7 laps, and then the softs will start to drop off. The mediums will come to their peak point in comparison to the red tires. And then he might reclaim those positions he lost. Very, very interesting. Very interested to see what will happen when the race restarts. There's also, of course, the matter of penalties. Let's have a little look at those. Mostly 3-second penalties. Pixon having 6 seconds, as is the other Mercedes of Alex in the P11. Ernest having 9-second time penalty, which is not great, if I'm honest. And then Wyfoon in last place having 3 seconds as well. I didn't see if he rejoined the session or not, but we can easily judge that from how the car behaves. It goes into the pit lane. Can't see whether or not AAI is controlling his car there. For some reason, Jesko overtaking Alex GameSim. Oh dear. And Alex GameSim refusing to give back the position, nearly causing the entire group to come to a halt here. And he's retaking the place from Jesko, as Jesko went slow enough for him to get past. Another solution if you accidentally overtake somebody is to go off the track, to let somebody else get back past. That way the game will not notice that as an illegal overtake. Which will work just as well. I think the safety car might come in at the end of this lap. There we go. Safety car in this lap. Have a quick look at Wyfoon. I think it's just an AI driving him around. I think it is. Max O'Connor then, leading the field, as his teammate did during the first safety car. But unfortunately, Dark's out of the race from P2. Still had to make a pit stop, of course, but that will not be a great day for him. As I said, he has the pace, but he just doesn't have the luck. So then, what will happen? When will Max O'Connor start the race? Restart the race, I should say. Latifi Sol gained 8 positions, and Sam also having a great race from P17 now up to P6. And we have a collision penalty there from Archuo crashing with PW Jones. But they are in P14 and 15, and there goes Max O'Connor out of the final chicane. And he's got a fantastic restart there. Grenade Gorn has got no answer, and Latifi Sol has been asleep, but he does have the extra grip to go around the outside and reclaim the lost position from the restart. So absolute marvelous defending from the Ferrari driver there. Meanwhile, in the back of the pack, or actually the middle of the pack, Pixon losing position after position, trying to defend his place there, back into P8, fighting the other Ferrari of Ayrton Toleschi. Immediately driver DMB tries to strike as well. He would really like to gain his first point on the board, and we have a yellow flag. It's actually the Ernest going pretty slow over there. But it looks like a great restart there from Max O'Connor. Getting onto the power when Grenade Gorn was asleep, and despite his soft tires, he was not able to capitalize. He had to give back the spot, I see. That makes more sense then, because it looked way too easy for Latifi Sol to overtake there. Either way, he's lost a lot of time for that. He's now 1.5 seconds behind Grenade Goran. So that's interesting. Probably a bit of confusion then, because Latifi Sol was in P3 when the race restarted. So he didn't have to give any position there. But the game probably is confused at times, so that might have happened there. We see a bit of a close battle here between Backrow and Pixon. Pixon trying to reclaim P7. Oh dear, a bit of a touch there behind them. As Ayrton Toleschi, I think, somewhat touched the Mercedes of Pixon there. And driver DMB in his turn touched the Ferrari of Ayrton. So a very, very close fight then indeed. And I think Grenade Gorn is currently biding his time. He's barely using any battery. Max O'Connor is trying to get away from him, and Grenade Gorn is just having an easy time. As now Jasko is still fighting with driver DMB over 10th place. The other Aston Martin would love to get his first point on the board, but so far not successful. He's very close to it though. But it looks like behind him Alex GameSim is getting a penalty. And is now in a battle with PW Jones for P12. The Williams driver not having a great day, but he does have a lovely overtake in the hairpin there. But now he's going to have to try and defend that position. And the big question, of course, is can he do so? And it seems like he does. Despite Alex being really close, he's going for a dive at the inside, which is not a great place to overtake, and it's a massive crash there! For as Archie just completely plows his car, he couldn't move out of the way. Wyfun retiring as well, and it is another safety car. It was no way that Alex would have made that lunge down the inside there. He wasn't even close to the halfway of PW Jones's car. So, I know I was supposed to be objective, but that wasn't a great move there from the Mercedes driver. We're getting some drive-through penalties as well from Ernest. That was somewhat suicidal. Both of them survived, frankly. The only two victims are Wyfun and Archuo. Very innocent victims indeed, and that's the third safety car then. So what will they do now at the lead of the race? Will they come in for a set of soft tires? Very interesting to see. I think Max O'Connor might potentially continue on, because if he goes to pit now, he will lose many, many places. Especially if everybody else decides to carry on. He doesn't know if others will carry on or not. He doesn't come in. He stays out, which is the safest thing to do indeed. And so does the rest. No, not everybody. It is Sam on his hard tires, which is a logical choice to make. You don't really want to be on these tires when everybody else is on much faster tires than you are. There's a lot of drivers coming in now. He's going for a set of soft tires, as does four-door sedan driver DMB, Pixon as well, PW Jones, and Alex GameSim. Yeah, the Mercedes are not having a great day as well. Already we have 5 retirements, only 15 drivers remain. And Max O'Connor is still leading the race. Nate Gorn is still in second. This is good news for the soft tire users actually. This is what they need. They can save their tires now and push a bit more towards the end if they want to. But Grenade Goran's gonna have to be more awake this time, because Max O'Connor absolutely smashed it on the second restart. This is also a good opportunity for me to get a quick drink, so I will be right back. Alright. If you just tuned in, and if you just tuned in, I'm surprised you tuned in this late. Bad on you. Bad. 5 drivers out. The latest crash caused by Alex GameSim and PW Jones, by Alex trying to go for a move at the inside of PW Jones at the final chicane, which didn't work out at all. While Grenade Goran goes into neutral for some reason. And now PW Jones's car is very unhealthy, as I can now get confirmed by Noel, thank you. Rear wing and floor all damaged. So his race is effectively over. You can't really do much with a car that is so heavily damaged. And he's pretty much in last place as Ernest is trying to take his drive-through. Instead, got a fresh set of soft tires. Yeah, he needs 4 more cars to DNF. Actually 5. But dearie me, dearie me. Another great day there for the man who was 3rd in the driver's standings. He will for sure lose that position if it continues like this. And that becomes increasingly likely. Max O'Connor is currently 10 points behind Grenade Goran. So at the moment, effectively, Grenade Goran is the championship leader. Yeah, let's have a little look at the penalties. There we go. I set a drive-through for Ernest. You can't take your drive-through during a safety car for obvious reasons. Either way, getting back to the racing. Once again, Max O'Connor is leading Grenade Goran and Laviva Soul. Hopefully for the final time at this race, a restart is happening. Hopefully no more crashes will happen, no more people will lose their cars. And Max O'Connor is waiting a bit longer. At least he tried to show that he was waiting a bit longer, and he caught everybody off guard. Especially, well, especially nobody. Well, actually, Ayrton Torlashi, they're already going side by side with Jesko into turn 1, trying to fight. Oh my goodness, it's everybody trying to gain that position there. Pretty much literally everybody in the midfield trying to claim P7 for themselves. And driver DNB is having a fantastic race there with Ayrton, and actually goes and cuts the grass a little bit for us, because why not? And there he goes then. Out of the points falls the second Ferrari. Bad news for him indeed. He tried to defend his place for driver DRB. We couldn't exactly see what was going on. And now Sam is still having a battle there with Backrow for 7th place. Ernest now overtaking Ayrton as well. So while it's a bad day for the second Ferrari, the first Ferrari is having a fantastic day. He's still hanging around in the podium position, but just barely. Because MBS, despite being on the harder tires, which at the moment are still a little bit slower than the softs, is hounding him to reclaim this podium position he lost. And he would really like it, but Laviva Soul would also really like his first podium, but unfortunately he picks another 3-second time penalty up there through the final chicane, and MBS is going to pull out, having a little look, and he now already knows he doesn't have to push that hard anymore if he wants to claim P3. But of course MBS still has potentially got more positions to claim there. But he's gonna have to hurry up. He's really gonna have to hurry up. There's only 6 laps remaining after this one. And if MBS gets past, he's gonna have to close a ever-increasing gap of currently 1.7 seconds. Laviva Soul is not able to keep up the pace of the 2 race leaders. Max O'Connor and Grenade Goran fighting it out for the championship lead. and the race win as well. So a big battle going on there at the top of the field. MBS also picking up another 3-second penalty, which is going to get another big worry to his woes already, as he's now losing positions to several drivers behind him with all these penalties. It's bad news. Bad news for MBS as well as for La Viva Soul. Where will they end up by the end of the race? That's the big question. They're gonna have to drive like mad to pull a big gap. Jasko currently has gained the biggest profit. If he can stay with this group, he will inherit the final podium place. And looking at the results, he also never finished on the podium, only finished on the points twice, had 4 DNFs, so this man really would like a podium, just as well as the other 3 drivers ahead of him, as driver DNB, the man who still's got 0 points on the board, moves into 8th and then immediately falls down back to 10th after going way too wide in turn 2, and Sam and Pixon overtaking him at the same time pretty much. He's doing it, he's giving it everything to get that first point. And he really wants it. And we have a yellow flag. It is actually PW Jones, I'm afraid, spinning out. And let's see, go back to the lead of the race. They already are 3 seconds pretty much clear of the man in P3, La Viva Soul, getting under immense pressure from MBS as well. But Grenade Gorn is going to have his first proper opportunity with the arrest to claim the lead of the race. No penalties for either driver. And Grenade Gorn is going to have to be quick if he wants to make the most of his soft tires. And he moves into the lead of this race. And that will really solidify his championship lead, at least for the time being. And Max O'Connor, of course, is going to try and come back, as now Grenade Gorn sets the fastest lap of the race. MBS in the meanwhile has moved ahead of La Viva Soul, so unfortunately for the Ferrari driver, he's now definitely lost his podium position and immediately getting hounded by Hacko as well. Jesko getting really close too. And as I said, Jasko is the man who is now sitting in the podium places without any penalties. All he needs to do is make sure, as Alex Gameson spun out again, Jasko needs to make sure that MBS doesn't get away further than 6 seconds from him. So then, will Max O'Connor come back? Grenade Gorn is trying to give it his all, but his tires will fall off pretty soonish now. Whoa, Hacko nearly having a run into La Viva Soul's back there. He does get a nice exit there, not as great as he would have hoped, I'm afraid. DRS for both cars. Low battery for La Viva Soul, but Hacko is just hanging back. He's not giving it all he can. Max O'Connor, in the meanwhile, getting closer and closer to Grenade Gorn, but he's also hanging back, I think at least, to place the attack at the proper time. La Viva Soul once again getting closer to MBS, both of them having 6-second time penalties. Now Sam moving ahead of back row into 7th place, and he keeps the position. It's still this tight group of 4 or 5 cars trying to claim all of these places. It's a battle for P7 between Sam, back row, Pixon, driver DNB and 4-door sedan. A very tight battle indeed. Driver DNB, as I said, is trying to get his first point on the board. Trying to get away from that last place he has. Grenade Gorn in a while. Getting more and more pressure from Max O'Connor. Now we're switching to the penalties here. Driver DNB getting another 3-second penalty. And I said he's having P10, but he doesn't have it actually, as he's got 9 seconds worth of penalties, which is bad news. Max O'Connor having a little look. In the meanwhile, more battles are happening at the back of the field, as Max O'Connor still stays behind him. La Viva Soul, in the meanwhile, getting ready to re-overtake MBS. Look at all of these cars. It's a scrap between 5 cars. The big question is, will this go well? No, it will not! It will not go well, and once again, it's no points for driver DNB. That has to be the worst ever jinx you've seen live at the stream here. As soon as I ask, how long will this go well, he crashes out of the race. There, of course, is no there's no safety car. This is lap 33 of 35. Bad luck there. Very bad luck for driver DNB. Wow. Wow. What a finale once again. Tier 3 always delivers on the final few laps of the race. They actually deliver on the entire race, but especially the final few laps, because look at this. Grenade Gorn is having a 3-second penalty now, so Max O'Connor can just take it easy. All he needs to do is not pick up any penalties. And then he will take his back-to-back victory. Nobody in Tier 3 has been able to take a back-to-back victory. Ayub Khan has been able to take a 4-time in a row podium with a P1 and then 3 P3s in a row. And now Max O'Connor is going to go for it. He knows Grenade Gorn has a time penalty, but he doesn't care. Just in case he gets a time penalty himself, he now moves into the lead again. And Jesko's having a big tussle there with Hecko, nearly pushing him in onto the grass. And we have another yellow flag as Alex once again spins out. Ernest taking P11, getting very close to the points now. He's also got 0 points on the board. He would like to get his first as well. All he needs is one more guy crashing out just ahead of him, because he's very far away from any other driver. And Alex retiring from the session on track. It's a bit hard to make out who will take the podium. I'll let you guys do the maths as I concentrate on the final bits of racing in the last 1.5 lap of this Grand Prix. Who is going to take third place? That's the biggest question at the moment, I think. Grenade Gorn is pretty safe in second. He needs to beg for a penalty for Max O'Connor. In terms of track limits, that is. And this is his last proper opportunities. He comes into the main straight. He can have a go there. And he will have a go most likely. But he's going to have to go around the outside. He will have the inside in turn 2. Max O'Connor does leave him the space. Respectful racing from both of them. And it looks like equal grip at the moment for both tires. And they're pretty much side by side. The game can no longer decide who's in the lead. But Grenade Gorn takes the lead. And Max O'Connor decides to spare his car to prevent any potential penalty. But he's still not really giving up just yet. He's still incredibly close. They're using up the final bits of battery that are in the car today. And the final half a lap has gone in now. MBS still sitting in third, but the big question is who will inherit the final podium place. Jesko's got a penalty now as well. Hecko got 3 seconds to his name too. So no longer is Jesko guaranteed of a podium. He's going to have to stay within the 3 seconds of MBS to claim P3, and he will really like that. As I said, he doesn't have a podium just yet. Oh my goodness, Max is having a look, but he doesn't have a go. He knows he is safe because there's no way he can gain a penalty anymore. Grenade Gorn comes across the line first, but it is Max O'Connor who wins the Canadian Grand Prix. MBS is coming home over the line in third, but it is actually Jesko inheriting the final podium place there. Hecko going up to 4th place. Back row to 5th. MBS falling down all the way to P6. Levivusel all the way down to 7th. And there you have it. Sam completing the points top 10 there. Ernest coming across the line, barely missing out on the points in P11, but he gets overtaken due to his 12-second penalties there. Wow. Incredible race once again. I need a bit of water after that. But look at that then. Max O'Connor back-to-back victory. And Grenade Gorn will be pleased as well, as he's now the championship leader due to the woes of Ayub Khan with his steering wheel. He wasn't able to race, wasn't able to defend his championship lead properly. And now he's lost it. He's fallen down to 3rd. Due to these two drivers coming home P1 and P2. Yeah, let's see if people are up for an interview. I would love to interview all of these people after this pretty intense race for all of them. Let's have a quick look though at the final results. Here's your top 3. Hecko just missing out on his first ever podium. Sam, as I said, completing the top 10. Ayrton just missing out on it. Driving the beaten, not getting any points, retired from the race. Jesko, unfortunately, not joining for the interviews. Not much we can do about that. We have, though, the man who came home The man who came across the line first and then fell down to second place, it is our man and now championship leader, Grenade Goran. So first and foremost, congratulations actually snatching the championship lead. Second place, I think you must be pretty thrilled after this race.
Yeah, and sweaty, but it was really fun actually. The last few laps to race Max. Otherwise, it's a hard track. I think I like the upcoming tracks more. I did saw one of them is it's Belgium and France and tracks like those. I like.
Yeah, in a few weeks indeed.
Yeah, in a few weeks. So yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it's once again that you were tipped across the line by Max O'Connor. We saw it happen in Azerbaijan last week as well, and now it happened once more in Canada. The soft tire was your choice for the end of the race. Were you actually confident in those tires then?
Yeah, I'd saved one soft set. That's why I was late out in the first try on the quali, because I need to change to meds. So I saved one soft set and do the opposite of what Max do. I think that was my only option, because he's much faster than me.
Yeah, and it almost worked out for you. You picked up a penalty somewhere around the final few laps of the race. How was the feeling then when you actually picked up the penalty? Because it looked like you were going to win otherwise.
Yeah, I just told myself fuck. But yeah, it was fun and hard racing.
All right, and last but not least, as I said, you're now leading the Drivers' Championship. Potentially next week, Ayub might be back. Do you think you can take the fight to him on track?
Not on track maybe, but yeah, shit can happen. So I hope he will drive, because I think it was on some track. What was one of the first ones? We have a really nice battle, but my quali pace is so shit, so I can't be in front. I need to do more practice, maybe more time trials laps.
All right, well, good luck with practicing for next week's track in Great Britain, and enjoy your championship lead for now.
Yeah, I will. We see you there.
Cheers.
Yeah, bye.
And once again, pipping out Grenade Goran to the finish line is Max O'Connor. You are, in fact, the first driver in Tier 3 to take a back-to-back victory. How does that feel?
Yeah, no, it was good. It was same story as last week. I mean, Grenade at the front. So yeah, no, it's good. The pace is there.
Yeah, the pace was definitely there. You had a very, very nice fight with Grenade Goran, and then he picked up a penalty. That must have felt a little bit relieving for you.
Yeah, definitely. It was very. It's when he went onto the softs and I was on the mediums. I knew the softs were going to die at the end, but it was still in the back of my mind that he is very, very quick. And around Canada, there's very few opportunities to overtake. So it was a bit of a relief at the end there, just to have that sort of safety margin that if something was to happen, then I can just follow. And I did try and go for a move at the end, but there was no need.
Yeah, you could have driven it pretty easily there. You're getting very close to leading the championship. Ayub didn't drive today, so you've passed him as well. You're now second then in the Drivers' Championship. How do you look forward with half of the season still remaining in terms of your chances?
It's good. I mean, there's been a couple of unlucky races earlier in the season, so I definitely think there's more points to be had. And yeah, I think Ayub is faster than a lot of us anyway on pure pace, but you have to finish to get to the points. I know he's had his issues with sort of his hardware, but yeah, I think if we can just consistently score like we have, top 10s, top 5s, that's where the points are, and yeah, start clawing back our way up to the top. And I think there must only be sort of a couple of points between us now, so it's all very tight.
Yeah, very tight indeed. A little bit of a sidetrack to another topic at hand. Your teammate, we saw him driving in P2 for a while, and then he suddenly crashed out. Did you see or hear from him what happened? Because we unfortunately missed it on camera.
Yeah, I think he just had a issue going into the braking zone just with the throttle and on his controller, and it just caused the throttle to spike, and he just spun out. So he was doing a really good job though. He's been really good like all season. I think I caught him halfway through the second stint, and that was when I was sort of making as much time as I could on the cars behind, and we worked together quite nicely. So it will come where we're sort of claw our way back up to the constructors, because I think we can both be up there fighting for sort of podiums and getting good points together. So I think the constructors will come to us as well, hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
All right, let's see what will happen then next week. Great Britain, that is sort of your home race then, I suppose. Let's see how you will fare there. So good luck with all the practice, and let's see what will happen then.
Thanks, see you then.
Cheers. Right, my good friends in chat, that was our little interview talks with the top 2 of the race and also the top 2 of the Drivers' Championship. They are now very closely together in the tables there. If my calculations are correct, I didn't see who actually took the fastest lap. I don't think it was either of them. But I think they're only 2 points apart at most. Or 3 points. 2 or 3 points apart at most. It's going to be very, very close indeed. Let's see what will happen next week. As I said, it will be Great Britain for Tier 3. But first and foremost, we have some more races coming up in Canada tomorrow, 10 p.m. sharp as well. We will have the Tier 2 race. Following after that, we have the Americas Tier 2, then Tier 1 from Europe and the Americas Tier 1. Finishing off the Canada week here for the Misfits Racing League. Other than that, thank you so much for watching once again. I hope the stream quality was a bit better this week round. I'm going to see if I can keep upping my settings to make it even more sharp, crisp and smooth for you. Either way, have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. My name is Frostbreath and I'll see you tomorrow night for Tier 2. Thank you for watching and goodbye.